The Bible is full of miracles and divine encounters. There are stories that transcend the ordinary, weaving threads of wonder and mystery. Among these stories exists a captivating account of two unlikely creatures who spoke to human beings in the human language. Join me as we journey into the heart of this extraordinary narrative, where the unexpected becomes reality and the voices of two animals echo through the ages with a message that resonates with both wisdom and wonder. Number 1. The Serpent in the Garden of Eden. Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 to 15. One day, as Eve wandered among the trees, admiring the beauty of Eden, she came to a tree which had its ripped fruits hanging from the branches. The serpent approached her. "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden'?" it asked cunningly. "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden," Eve replied, "but God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent replied, "You will not certainly die, for God knows that when you eat from it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Tempted by the serpent's words and the allure of forbidden knowledge, Eve reached out and plucked the fruit from the tree. She took a bite, and in that moment, the world changed forever. When Adam came upon Eve, his eyes widened in shock at the sight of the fruit in her hand. "What have you done?" he cried, his voice trembling with fear and disbelief. Eve, her cheeks flushed with shame, offered the fruit to Adam, and he too took a bite. And as the juice of the fruit ran down their chins, they felt a rush of knowledge flood their minds, revealing to them the secrets of the universe. But their newfound knowledge came with a price. When God came looking for them in the cool of the evening, they hid themselves among the trees, their hearts heavy with guilt. "Where are you?" God called out, his voice like thunder in the quiet of the garden. Trembling with fear, Adam emerged from his hiding place and confessed his disobedience. "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." And when God questioned Eve, she too confessed her sin. "The serpent deceived me, and I ate," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. And so, God pronounced judgment upon the serpent, condemning it to crawl upon its belly and eat dust all the days of its life. And to Adam and Eve, he spoke of the pain and toil that would accompany their existence outside the garden, as well as the promise of redemption through the seed of the woman. If you have been blessed, kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share for others to be blessed. Number 2. The Donkey of Balaam. Numbers chapter 22, verses 11 to 34. In the land of Moab, there lived a man named Balaam, a sorcerer of great renown. He was sought after by kings and rulers from far and wide, for his divinations were said to be unmatched in all the land. One day, as Balaam was preparing to set out on a journey, he was approached by messengers from the king of Moab. The king, fearful of the Israelites who camped on the plains below, sought to hire Balaam to curse them and drive them away. Balaam, tempted by the promise of wealth and power, agreed to the king's request and set out on his journey with his faithful donkey in tow. But as they traveled along the dusty road, an angel of the Lord appeared before them, blocking their path with a flaming sword. The donkey, sensing the presence of the angel, veered off the road and into a field, much to Balaam's frustration. "What are you doing, you stubborn beast?" he shouted, striking the donkey with his staff. "Get back on the road at once." But the donkey refused to move, for she could see the angel standing before them, his sword raised high. And so, she spoke to Balaam in a voice that was not her own. "Why have you struck me these 3 times?" she asked, her words clear and distinct. Balaam, stunned by the donkey's speech, could only stare in disbelief. "Because you have made a fool of me," he cried, his anger flaring. "If I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." But the donkey replied with patience and wisdom beyond her years. "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden, to this day? Have I ever behaved in this way before?" Balaam fell silent, for he knew that the donkey spoke the truth. And in that moment, his eyes were opened, and he saw the angel standing before them, his sword still raised in warning. "I have sinned," Balaam whispered, his voice filled with remorse. "I did not see the angel standing in the road. Please forgive me." And the angel of the Lord spoke to Balaam, his voice gentle yet firm. "Go with the men, but speak only what I tell you." And so Balaam continued on his journey, but his heart was heavy with the weight of his sin. And though he would go on to speak the words of blessing that the Lord had given him, he would never forget the day when the voice of a donkey had opened his eyes to the presence of God in his midst. These reveal to us the mightiness of our God who can do all things. God bless you for watching.